Hey everyone, and welcome back to English Active Listening. I'm Alyssa, and I'm just so happy you're here with me today. Have you ever felt like you know many English words, but when it's your turn to speak, they just don't quite come out right? Maybe you find yourself stopping, trying to think of the right grammar rule, or trying to change every thought in your head into English, and then suddenly, your chance to talk is gone. If that sounds like you, then good news. You are in exactly the right place, because today's show is absolutely for you. Today, we're going to dive into the world of 50 common English phrases. These aren't just single words. They are little groups of words that native speakers use all the time. Think of them as ready-made sentences for almost any situation. Learning these phrases is truly one of the quickest ways to sound more natural, understand what people are saying more easily, and feel more sure of yourself. Instead of trying to build every sentence one word at a time, you'll actually be using these great chunks of language that already sound correct and smooth. Imagine it like having a super useful toolbox full of exactly the right tools for all sorts of talking jobs. We're going to find 50 key phrases you can pick up and start using right away to make your English talks easier, more fun, and really help you connect with others. So grab a notebook, let's get started, and I want you to write down in the comments below how many of these phrases you already knew. If there were some words or phrases that were totally new for you, please write those down too. This will help you practice them one extra time. Let's begin right at the start with how we naturally talk to people and say hello. Beyond a simple hello, there are many common phrases that quickly make you sound friendly and ready to chat. Americans often say, "How's it going?" This is an easy way to ask how someone is doing. You might hear, "Hey, how's it going?" And a common answer is, "Not bad, thanks, how about you?" It's simple and friendly. Try thinking of someone you might see soon, and in your head, practice saying, "How's it going?" to them. Another common one is, "What's up?" Instead of just, "How are you?" You can use this informal way to greet someone. You probably wouldn't say it to someone very important, like your boss or a teacher, but it's perfect for friends. Someone might say, "Hey, what's up?" And you could reply, "Not much, you." Think about a relaxed moment, maybe with a family member, where you could totally use "What's up?" this week. Sometimes things aren't great. If someone says, "Not so great," or "I'm not doing so great," they're letting you know they're having some troubles or not feeling well. You might ask, "How are things?" And they could reply, "Not so great, really." Then there's "could be better." This phrase means that something, or things in general, are not as good as they could be. It often shows a wish that things will get better. If someone asks, "How's life treating you?" you might say, "Could be better." On the brighter side, "can't complain" is another good phrase. This means there's nothing really wrong and things are going pretty well. When someone asks, "How's life?" you can simply say, "Can't complain." A really good phrase is, "Long time no see." Say this when you haven't seen someone in a while. Imagine running into an old friend. "Wow, long time no see. How have you been?" And they might say, "Pretty good, thanks." Next time you see someone you haven't seen in ages, try to remember this phrase and just let it come out naturally. When you want to show interest in someone's life, especially on a Monday, you can ask, "How was your weekend?" For example, "Hey, long time no see. How was your weekend? Did you go anywhere fun?" If your friends just came back from a trip, you can ask, "How was your vacation?" Or, "How's your trip?" Another important phrase is, "What have you been up to lately?" If somebody asks, "What have you been up to?" they're asking what you've been doing since the last time you spoke. You might reply, "Oh, I've just been working a lot," or "I've been traveling a bit." It shows a friendly interest in their life. Think of a talk you might have on the phone. How would you use this phrase to start asking about what they've been doing? And of course, beautiful weather, isn't it? It's a very common and easy way to start a conversation, talking about the weather. You might say, "Great day, isn't it?" "Perfect for a walk." This is a classic way to start a small talk. By the way, I have a whole video on top phrases for great small talk. Now let's move on to saying goodbye, which is a key part of any conversation. One of the most common phrases here is "see you later." It's very common to say "see you" or "see you later" instead of "goodbye." You use it if you plan to see the person again soon. For example, "Bye for now, see you later." If you're talking on the phone, you can just say, "Talk to you later." Another good phrase is "catch you later." This is very similar to "see you later." When you say it, you mean you'll see or talk to someone at a later time. "I'm heading out, catch you later." "Take care" is another great phrase. It's a warm, kind, and true way of saying goodbye. If you say "take care," that's a way of showing that you care about the person. "I'll see you later, take care." Or simply, "Goodbye, take care." Practice saying this with a real and friendly voice. Then there's "have a nice day." This is so common and a general way to wish someone a good day. You can also say, "Have a great day," "Have a lovely day," or "Have a good one." You might hear, "Thanks for stopping by, have a great day." A phrase that I really like sounds like, "I should get going," or "I've got to get going." Say these when you're ready to leave a place. For example, "I should get going now." What I really like about people in many English-speaking places is they're very understanding when you need to leave. For instance, sometimes when I'm with friends, I'll say, "I've got to get going. My kids need me." And they're always super understanding. And finally, "It was nice seeing you." That's a polite way to end a meeting or leave a party. "It was nice seeing you. Let's stay in touch." Practice saying this with a warm voice, as if you truly had a good talk. We've already covered some important phrases, and there are many more waiting for you. Keep watching, because the key to truly learning English is simple. You don't give up, and you never stop practicing. I know learning English takes time, patience, and wanting to learn. That's why we've created our special 7-week intermediate to advanced course. It's made to make regular practice easy, good, and fun. Here's what you'll get: 40 lessons and live streams packed with useful stuff. Daily lessons that open each day to keep you on track. Videos you can watch anytime and from anywhere. Homework for extra practice. A chat where you can talk with other learners and ask questions. Lesson notes, quizzes, and listening exercises to really make what you've learned stick. Practice every day, get better at your skills, and see real progress. Don't miss out, join now, and let's make learning English fun and good. The link is down below. Sometimes you need to ask for more information or help in English, and these phrases will be very useful. First, "Could you please help me?" This is a kind way to ask for help. "Could you please help me with this problem?" Practice asking for help with a simple task using this phrase. Next, "Could you do me a favor?" If you say this, you're asking someone to do something kind to help you. You can also say, "Can you do me a favor?" But could makes it a bit more polite. "Could you do me a favor and pick up my kids from school today?" Then, "Could you repeat that?" Use this phrase to ask someone to say something again. "I'm sorry, could you repeat that?" "I didn't hear you." Imagine you're on a noisy street. How would you use this phrase if you couldn't hear someone clearly? Another phrase that is really useful, especially for English learners, is, "I'm sorry, I didn't catch that." It's a polite way to say you didn't understand something. "I'm sorry, I didn't catch that." Could you say it again? A phrase that's super useful is, "Could you speak more slowly?" This phrase helps when someone is speaking too fast. "Could you speak more slowly?" I'm still learning English. Honestly, I still say this sometimes. Then there's, what does word or phrase mean? Because, as I always say on this channel, people use so many different sayings. Or sometimes they talk about movies or cartoons that I've never watched or have forgotten. They have so many references to everyday culture. And that's why, as an English learner, I don't always get everything, and I just ask them. You said serendipity. What does that mean? Think about a time you were a little bit confused in a talk. How would this phrase have helped you then? How do you spell that? You ask this if you need to know how to write a word. So, for example, how do you spell your name? And they might say Alyssa. Practice saying this phrase clearly, as if you're ready to write down the letters right away. When you're confused, you can politely say, "I'm not sure I understand." You can follow up with, "Can you explain it differently?" Another common phrase that means you don't understand something is, "I don't get it." You can then ask, "Can you explain it again?" "I don't get it." You can also ask for more information by asking for an example. Just say, "Can you give me an example of how to use this word?" Asking about what people like and what they think is a great way to learn more about others and keep the conversation going. Here are some phrases you can use. What do you think about topic? Use this phrase to ask someone's opinion. For example, what do you think about the new park in town? What's one thing you think about the weather today? Try saying it out loud, starting with, "I think that." You can also say, "Do you prefer option A or option B?" This is a good way to learn about someone's choices. "Do you prefer tea or coffee?" Then, "How do you feel about topic?" Use this phrase to find out how someone feels about something. How do you feel about living in this city? Another great way to ask for someone's opinion is, would you rather go back to your country or stay in the US? You ask this question to offer two choices and see which one they like more. The next phrase, "Do you mind if I?" That's a polite way of asking, "Can I?" For example, "Do you mind if I open the window? It's too hot in here." And if you say, "Do you mind doing something?" You're asking someone politely to do something. "Would you mind" is even more polite and more common. "Would you mind opening the window, please?" Or, "Do you mind turning down the music a little bit, please? I'm trying to work here." Sharing your thoughts and feelings is key to connecting with others. Here are some useful phrases. "I think it's great." Use this phrase to show a good opinion. "I think it's great that you're learning a new language." You might also hear, "That's lit," or "That's sick." But these are very informal and used by younger people. If you're talking with teenagers, you might hear, "Oh my God, that's sick. Your outfit is sick." Practice saying, "That's great," with different levels of excitement in your voice. I totally agree. You can show strong agreement with this phrase. Exercise is important for staying healthy. I totally agree. Practice saying it firmly and clearly. Another phrase to show agreement is, I feel the same way. I hate Mondays. Oh, I feel the same way. I'm not sure about that. This is a polite way to show you have doubts. I'm not sure about that idea. It might not work. Or simply, I'm not so sure about that. Practice saying this with a thoughtful, slightly unsure tone. In my opinion. This is a great phrase to start talking about what you think, especially if you're writing or taking a test. In my opinion, fresh vegetables are the best food ever. Think of a topic you feel strongly about. How would you say your opinion starting with, in my opinion? I'm so happy for you. Use this phrase to say good job to someone. By the way, when someone has a birthday, you say happy birthday, not congratulations. Congratulations is what you say when someone did something good or something good happened to them, like they finished university or got married. So when someone says, I just got a promotion, you would say, congratulations. I'm so happy for you. Imagine a friend telling you exciting news. How would you say this phrase? That's so kind of you. Use this phrase to show thanks for someone's thoughtful action. I brought you this coffee. Oh, that's so kind of you. That sounds amazing. Use this phrase to show excitement. We're going to Dubai next week. That sounds amazing. Try saying this with real excitement in your voice. It's not my thing. This phrase will help you politely say you don't like something. Do you like horror movies? No, it's not my thing. It's up to you. Use this phrase to tell a person that they are the one to make a choice. Should we eat out or cook at home? It's up to you. Being polite is important in any language. Let's go over ways to say sorry and show you are thankful. I'm sorry. This is a common phrase to say you feel bad for something you've done wrong, asking for forgiveness. I'm sorry that I forgot about your birthday. Or, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. My apologies. This is a more formal way to say sorry. My apologies for the mistake in the email. Another phrase to remember is, excuse me. This is a phrase we use to get someone's attention. We don't use it when we are sorry. If you want to get someone's attention, you say, excuse me, where's the bathroom? Pardon me. This is a polite way to ask someone to repeat something, or to excuse yourself if you accidentally bump into someone. Pardon me, I didn't hear that. Another great phrase is, sorry to bother you. Imagine that you need to politely ask for a favor, ask someone to do something, or give you some information, or even stop someone while they are busy. That's exactly when you need this phrase. Sorry to bother you, but could you help me lift this suitcase? I actually have a little story about lifting suitcases myself. When I first started traveling, I used to expect people to help with heavy bags, but I quickly learned that it's often polite to ask first. So now, if a suitcase is heavy and I see someone willing to help, I ask them, sorry to bother you, but could you lend a hand? Thank you so much. You show thanks with this phrase. It's very common. Thank you so much for lifting my suitcase. I really appreciate it. This is another great phrase to show you are thankful. I really appreciate it. You're very strong, and my suitcase is really heavy. No problem. Say this to let someone know their request was not difficult for you. Thank you for holding the door. No problem. Anytime. Use this to say you're happy to help again in the future. Thanks for picking me up. Anytime. Finally, you're welcome. Respond to thanks with this polite phrase. For example, thanks for the advice. You're welcome. And there you have it. 50 common English phrases that will help you sound more natural and confident when speaking. Practice these phrases and you'll be ready for all kinds of conversations. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more tips on learning English. See you next time. Bye.